Hi everybody, I'm Kirsty Meakin from Nao Nails. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do a full set of French nails on my mother. So if you look at my mum's nails, can't you tell we are the same family? Look at our hands. They are very, very similar. Yeah, they are. Yours are.
Mine are a lot older. Mine are a bit more wrinkly.
Oh, they're not. They're beautiful hands.
They've got more experience.
Yes.
I'll go for that.
So my mum's already got nails, and my mum just wants to grow her nails a bit. So we're going to keep that length, but we're going to extend them a little bit, aren't we? Because you don't want them too long, do you?
No. I don't want pointy ones.
You don't.
I don't want fey ones.
You don't. If we're not going to do fey nails, not today. Because you do gardening and all that kind of stuff, don't you? So we can't have them too long.
No.
So I'm going to keep the length, and I'm going to sculpt out. So I'm going to put a form on because we're going to just make these a little bit longer, not massively longer. But we do want to add a little bit of length. So do you reckon, Mum, if we go sort of halfway between, or do you want to go to the one?
Yeah,
Is that
fine.
one all right?
That's fine.
Yeah. So when you're doing this, you need to make sure that the form fits nice and flush to that natural nail. We have done a video just dedicated to this kind of thing where you want to keep the length underneath, because you do have clients that want to keep the length, but you can't just keep filling and filling and filling. I don't really like that. I think doing 3 fills and then taking off the product and having a look what's going on underneath and checking everything's all tickety-boo, and then re-sculpt them out. So when I do a full set, I will knock everything everywhere like always. I will put the forms on one hand first, do that, and then put the forms on the other hand, because I think it's a bit unfair sometimes to incapacitate your client to the point where they have sculpting forms on both hands and can't do a single thing, and you know that they're going to move one of the hands and they'll end up knocking the forms off. So it's kind of pointless putting them on because the forms will get disturbed. So we're going to concentrate on this one first, and then we'll move on to the next one. I am going to dehydrate now. So I'm going to dehydrate that natural nail. Then I'm going to use the Ultra Bond Acid Primer. Prime the nail so it's ready for the acrylic application. We're going to be using Natural Beige and Mega White. I'm going to start with these 4 first, then I will come to the thumb. And that's because it's going to sit on its side. And when I put the product on, I don't want anything to run to the side. I don't want it to be disturbed because it's in the position it's in. These are all in the same position. It's a lot easier to do these 4 first. And we're going to do a reverse application. So that means we are going to do the nail bed extension first. And we're going to get the smile line nice and neat before we actually do the white. So in the old-fashioned days, when I was young, you used to put the white on first. I mean, we have got a video doing that.
I just don't get it. I don't get why you would do the white first.
It's how they used to do it, Adam. I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
I know. Because it seems like it would be much harder. And we've done the video, I remember that.
Yeah.
It seems like it's much harder to get that curve right.
It is.
In the opposite direction to what you're doing now.
It is, definitely. This is a far easier way of doing a French, because we can really neaten up this edge. Whereas if we do it the old-fashioned way, the traditional way, shall we say, you have to keep sweeping into it like that, and it's a lot harder. And if you make any mistakes, you can't hide it. So I've pulled the pink about 2 mil shy of my mum's natural nail. Then I'm going to put the white on. Oh, there's a fuzzy. And we're going to walk that white up to each corner. That's the first thing you need to do because the product is still mouldable at this stage. And you want to butt it straight up to that smile line that you've created. We're just going to do like a tapered square. So it'll come in at the sides. It'll have a flat end. It's not really a ballerina because it's not going to have massive C-curve. The shorter the nail, the less of a C-curve you can actually get away with. Because it's shorter, it doesn't need quite as much support. One thing I am going to do is use natural just to marry those colours together. So if there's any kind of little dips in there, it'll just get filled in with that. You could use clear, but I want a tiny bit of colour. So it's important to be able to pick up the same size bead each time as well. And that's due to the angle of the brush going into the powder. So if you change the angle of the brush going into the powder, you're going to have a different size bead. There's a little bit of a fuzzy there again. And the shorter the nail, the lower the apex can be as well, because it doesn't need to have as much support because it's shorter.
As you're not pinching,
I am.
Could you are? All right. I'll show that.
Yeah. So I'm going to put a pinching tool on here, and it's only really going to touch those sides. Can you see how it's not really touching
The white.
the white?
So could you decide, right, okay, I'm going to do all of the pink first and then all of the white afterwards?
You could do, and I have done that before. But if you do that, then you can't really pinch the pink. But when you're doing a short nail, you won't always necessarily have to pinch that pink.
You could though, couldn't you? Because you could just do the one pink and then the next pink and just pinch the one behind.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
pinch the pink like that, but you couldn't pinch it all, the whole structure
thing, yeah,
at the same time. But yes, you can do it that way. So this natural is only actually a tiny bead, and it's quite wet. It's just sort of filling in any gaps. And to be honest, the majority of that will be filed away. Now I can come back to this. So you'll see after each stage, so when I've done this, I've pinched this one. When I've done the white, I've come back to this one. And then I can pinch with my fingers. I can pinch the end, and we can take this form off now. So we will still get a little bit of a C-curve in there. But it doesn't need to be a great big whapping C-curve. Slightly bigger bead, so I went a little bit lower in the powder. So the angle of my brush was lower because we're doing the thumb. When I was young, Mum, what did you think I was going to grow up and be? What do you think I was going to be when I was older?
A pain in the butt.
Oh, and I definitely did do that. I grew up and there was a pain in the butt.
I was right.
Yes, you were completely right, Mum.
No, an artist of some form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I always show that I had some kind of talent?
Yeah. You did.
Keep blowing the trumpet, Mum. Come on, I need a confidence boost.
Yes, your granddad always said, you were going to be an artist, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think he thought it was going to be on nails.
Yeah. Thought it'd be a different canvas.
Yes. I think he wanted to go into ceramics.
Yes.
Yes, ceramic artist.
He did. Because where we're from, which is Stoke-on-Trent, is known, as the potteries, and the pottery industry was very big. And you worked in pot banks, didn't you, Mum?
Yeah.
We call them pot banks where they
Pot banks,
they make all the pottery. What
Works
different
for
places? Wedgwood, yeah.
Yeah.
What? Who else?
Just Wedgwood.
Was it just Wedgwood?
Yeah.
Did you not work for anybody else?
No, only Wedgwood. Yeah. Gilding.
What's gilding?
It's applying gold
Mm.
to
Oh, yeah, of course.
with a brush
Mm.
to plates, cups,
She must have a steady hand.
vases,
Mm.
all kinds of things. Doing gilded handles, doing patterns on the sides of vases. I
Did you
think
do
now
patterns
it's mostly on machines. I think.
Oh, it's mostly done now on
I
machines.
think so.
Yeah, so you've got a steady hand, haven't you, Mum?
Used to.
What was your favourite thing to do then, when you were at work? Pop in the gas bag and
I
talk
was
to your
going to
mates.
say, favourite thing to do was to go on a break. I can't tell you what my favourite thing was.
Well, you're not still
But
employed
we
by
did,
them, so
we did take a TV with us.
What? You
A
took a
mini
TV?
TV.
What, on your
Yeah.
break? Or do you mean
No, generally.
went missing
We went messy with the mini TV.
with the mini TV?
We were working at the same time, yes.
Right,
This
yeah.
is when we got no work.
You got no work
We
on.
got no, so they couldn't find us anywhere, so we had to go counting prints.
When you got no work on, you had to count prints.
We went to count prints, the lithographing prints.
Oh, is that what you were
Yes.
apparently doing?
There, we were counting them as well as watching TV. We can multitask.
Yeah. So I'm just putting the forms on the other hand and just doing, it's pretty much exactly the same as what we've just done. So the ones that are still about are like Steelite, aren't they, Mum? Steelites. Still very busy, isn't it?
Yeah, they do hotel wear.
Yeah. So like
So-
I've been to America and been into one of like a typical American diner and turned over the plates and they were Steelite. So they were
They're
made
steel.
in Stoke, yeah.
Mm.
But all the decorative stuff, like Daltons and Wedgwoods, and there's more craft still here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who else
So
is
why
there?
what was the reason for all of the pottery here? Why Stoke-on-Trent? Why this area?
It's built on clay.
Is that what it is? Right.
Lot
Well, it's same,
yeah.
same me.
Yeah.
My
a
where
lot
I
of
grew
clay.
up was all coal mines. It was built
Yeah.
on coal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they had a lot of coal mines here, so it was
Yeah.
mainly mines. There was steel
Yeah.
and the pottery.
But it was
industry.
like pretty much, would you say at least half of the female population, if not more, worked on a pot bank, didn't they?
I'm not sure.
There's a lot of,
Yeah, there was.
because there was that many jobs, weren't there?
Everybody-
Massive factories,
yeah, you
weren't
could
they?
just go in and get a job.
Take on anybody. So I'm
Take
got a
on
job.
Take on anybody.
So I'm just going to apply the product exactly the same as I have before. And now I've actually got something to look at, so I can look at the previous hand that I've done and try to match up the smile lines as well. So it's I've got a visual to look at. You don't have to visualise it as much, but it is good to visualise what you're creating in your head before you actually do it. So I'm going to do my normal filing routine, getting my side walls nice and straight. And then I'll go around the cuticle area. My mother absolutely hates this part.
Mm-hmm.
It's
awful. I don't like the feeling. I don't like. Just don't like it.
So I'm going to use an electric file.
You don't mind the electric file?
I don't like the electric file, but I prefer the electric file than
a hand
the
file.
hand file because I don't like either. Don't like, but that's the filing with the normal file, hand file, no, worse.
So I'm going to go over and remove the bulk, and what you'll see is that I will hit the white and the pink, and it'll give you a nice crisp smile line. That was my own nail I was filing that. I will still need to go over the nail with the file though, sorry mum, but not as much as I would have had I not done this. So I'm checking the side view, making sure I've still got a nice apex. Checking down the barrel. Making sure I'm removing the bulk. And I'm just refining this a little bit further. I'm sorry, mum. Sorry. I've just got the 240 grit file now just to smooth it a little bit. And still need to remove any bulk. I'll go to a 180 file because I know that's going to remove bulk, but also it's not going to eat into it and remove too much. So it is really important to have lots of different grits of files. I'm going to do this on all of them. So once they're all buffed, nice and smooth, we're going to wipe over with gel residue wipe off solution. Make sure they're nice and clean. And then we will top coat them. Look at them.
Lovely.
So this is the Urban Graffiti top coat. It has no sticky layer, which is great, makes it nice and quick. Don't have to wipe off, no sticky layer. Pop me that in the lamp for me, mother. So once they're cured, we're going to put some cuticle oil on. Beautiful salon pink and whites for me mother, dear. They look nice, mum, they do.
Lovely.
Suit you, they do.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done a French on you for a very, very, very,
Very
long time. Very long time.
I know.
Can't get over how identical our
I
hands
know.
are.
I know.
How identical are they? All the freckles and wrinkles and everything. There you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Say bye bye, Mum.
Bye.
Oh dear.
And
Oh.
throw it all over as well.
Sorry, Mum. And you're going to bring you.
I'm going to have to go on down a YouTube rabbit hole now.
Yeah.
On what?
Lithography.
Lithographing, right.
Lithographing's kind of like. You know, you had them tattoos when you were a kid?
Yeah.
And you wet them and you put them on?
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of like that.
So if you put your arm in the oven, it would have stayed
Yeah,
on.
to get all the bubbles out.